Okay, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the 89 overall Ravens theme team vid. So, we're going to be showing you guys basically the top tier budget players at every position. I'm thinking about doing top 4 for each position because each position is lengthy. So, let's get on with it. So, we're going to start off with the best position. So, I know everybody is kind of wondering like, okay, I have a good team right now, but I need a backup tight end or good tight ends because I'm thinking about selling some tight ends. So, here's the thing about this is when you're looking for a tight end, I like to go to the 86 well because you're going to find some good tight ends here. For tight ends under 100K that are extremely well, let's start off with Dawson Knox. This guy is one of the best tight ends because he has speed and he has some good route running, but most importantly, the catching stat. He's 6'4", but it all matters about the jumping. He has an 81 jump. This guy is good on your short routes. You want to get him some reps, short route running. And if you want to throw it to him deeper, you can. You have that option. But I like using Dawson Knox for some underneath plays because if your opponent plays deep, he can burn them underneath. So there's that guy right there. But for your budget, your next budget player the um for the tight end core, who better than to get CJ Uzama for the Bengals? This guy is really good. He's a 6'6" tight end with 84 speed. Not too bad on the speed stat, but he's a little bit slower. But the most important thing here to keep in mind is that 88 catching traffic. You want to throw this to this guy in short route running, and you have the chance to throw it to him deep if you would like to. And he has good run blocking, extremely well for that. But Dawson Knox is rated at least higher than him. Um, but Dawson Knox, highly recommend everybody to pick up this guy. He is one of the best players. CJ Uzama is at number 4 because he's at number 5 because he's just basically a deep threat with his body and frame. Dawson Knox, I'm rating him at like the top range on the top, like high valued number 1 and number 5 target right there. So there's that. Next for your budget, folks, we're going to go to the 88 well. This is where, if you're trying to go from overall, this is what it matters. So we basically had Dawson Knox rated at number 5 because of his overall. But if we're looking at speed and stats, I would definitely rate him higher than Uzama. But moving on, for you guys that are trying to build a theme team, if you want to spend a little bit more coin, he is more expensive, but you need that blocking tight end. This is the guy for you. This guy's going to be good for your blocking. Not too sure about his route running, but if you can get him open into the field, this guy wouldn't disappoint you too much with his 81 run blocking. But he can catch. He can make some good catches for you, and he has a high catch in traffic, high catch rate, but his speed just kind of lackluster. Really not too sure if you guys want to pick him up. He's just a lot slower on the tight end build. So I rate him at number 5 because he's just a little bit too expensive, and I know a lot of people don't want that. So Dawson Knox, top tier because he has the speed. Uzama is rated at I would put him at like number 3. Just give him some things, but overalls, terms of overalls, there you go. Now we're going to go to the 84-85 route because I know a lot of people want to know, like, hey, who are some good tight ends that I can get that are cheap? So we're going to move on to the certified target. If you want to get a Rob Gronkowski, why should you do that? He's 6'6", and he has a good spec catch. And if you get his power up, his speed will go up, but just make sure you run sprinter so you can get that 80 speed. He's rated at number 4 with the power up. 84 right here. But the stats, you can't argue with this, and he is semi-good in run blocking, but it's mainly his catching that you're going to get him, and he's a good deep threat tight end for that as well, but he's rated at number 4 for that. 83 is definitely going to be Uzama, but moving on forward to the 84s, we're going to go with my favorite tight end, highly favorite. Now everybody's like, why not Travis Kelce, why not George Kittle? Here's the thing about that. They are just phenomenal guys, don't get me wrong. I would put Travis Kelce on the list, but Gronk has more of a run blocking. He's more versatile than Travis. But if you're trying to get like good, consistent catching, I would definitely sit here and say Travis Kelce might be for you, might not be for you, but Travis Kelce is honorable mention. Kittle, I'm not too sure about putting Kittle on the list because it's like his cards fall very high end on that note. But Gronk is guaranteed to be cheap, and Travis Kelce just there for the honorable mention. But at number 2, this is because of his speed. Jonnu Smith, this guy's a top tier tight end. He can catch. Good for your short route running, and he's also just there for another threat. But if you're trying to get some run blocking, highly recommend utilizing Dawson Knox and Darren Waller for your run blocking if you're running the team. This guy is, whoo baby, partner this guy up with a good tight end. Like at your third tier tight end, like if you're trying to figure out who your third tight end should be, I would honestly sit here and say put Jonnu Smith or Dawson Knox. I would definitely highly recommend pick up Dawson Knox because these guys are good budget tier tight ends. And you don't need to spend too much money for your third tight end right then and there. But speed kills. That's why I'm saying you want the speed. That's all. That's it and that's all. Now for you guys that are going for receivers. This is where it is for the budgets. We're going top 4, like top 5 basic budget guys. So, you know, everybody's like, speed kills, right? So who would you put on the list? Who would you put on the list for speed that kills? That has good catching and everything else like this. That you're trying to have like a good backup receiver that hit the field. It's very difficult when you talk about receivers because there's so many good receivers out here in the game. But Odell, you want to spend the coins. You're not afraid to spend the coins. This guy's a good budget guy with his power up. He's really not too expensive. He's very affordable. But if you're willing to spend the coins to get this card, but you really don't need to spend too much because you can just use the 89 to 90 power up pass on him. This card would be a solid fit for any of you guys out there because this card is really good, and plus later on in the year that his 90 will drop in price. Just keep that in mind. Good budget guy to go for, but he's at number 5 because you just want to get this. You just want to get the coin, but he's also fast, reliable target. Next, we got on the list. I'm thinking about looking at you guys because you guys want that good deep route runner. You want something that you can just go like, hey, this guy sticks out more. It's Odell. Odell's a good deep threat receiver. Want to spend the coins, get him. He's really good, and he's under that value margin. Now, let's move on to the team builders, because I'm looking at some of these team builders, and I'm just going by the stats as we go through. But, none of these guys really stick out to me, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, you have some good tier receivers, but you need the route running to go with it. That's why it's just very difficult for the receivers, but Odell Beckham's at the lead horse for that. Diggs, Stefon Diggs. If you're able to get him, get him. But Diggs Diggs isn't too expensive. You get his power up, you can use power pass on him too. So it's like that, bada boom, bada bang. There you go. You got Stefon Diggs. You can just put the training into him. Really not too expensive for your coin, and he's really good. Him and Odell, top 2 receivers right then and there. And those guys are high overalls. Those are some high-end receivers that you can get. I would definitely put Stefon Diggs at your slot or your third receiving spot because I just don't know how good this card is. But let's go on to some real budget cards because I know you guys want to know what are the 86s looking like because this is where the route is very good for you guys. Let's go on to the Team Diamonds. For your Team Diamond people out there, Mark Clayton. This guy is a good top tier target. He's 87 speed, 88 excel, 88 agility. This guy is a solid pickup for you. You can get his power up as well. This guy really wouldn't disappoint you. Just put the training in, or if you don't want to run the training on him, you can just run him like this. Very good. Another good target to get that's under 100k is Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett has 90 speed, and he is rated at number 3. I'm putting Mark Clayton behind him because Tyler Lockett, you can get him up to 90 speed with his power up. But again, you can run this card at stock if you would like to. But this card still kills at speed, and he has some decent catching stats as well. But Mark Clayton has better catching stats, so I would rate Clayton for catching a little bit higher than Tyler Lockett. It depends on what type of receivers you're looking for, but Mike Clayton, I think it's Mark. I'm just going to call him Mike. Mike Clayton, really good to go for you guys. Okay, next on the list. I know a lot of you guys are wondering, like, who am I going to put next on this list? Because this list is really solid so far, thus far. Like, who would you put on the list that's under 100k? That you don't need to spend too much money for? I'm going to tell y'all a little secret. You always need to look at all the players' stats. And again, honorable mentions. We have to start before we get into the 5th receiver slot. We have to start with the honorable mentions. Next, for the honorable mentions, we have to put DeAndre Hopkins on here. He's a very good receiver. Not gonna put that behind him. He's a really solid receiver. Definitely good and everything else like that. 100%. CeeDee Lamb, a good tier receiver with the speed. If you're just looking for speed, get CeeDee Lamb. He's just very hands-on with the ball this year. He's very solid pickup for any team as well. And another good receiver that I have to put on the list is Devontae. I mean, I'm not gonna put Devontae on there, but I mean, Another good mention is basically the 86 Legends. Those are some good receivers. You can find some good receivers there. But let's get on to the number 5 receiver for you guys, because I know a lot of you guys want to know who's the real reason that I made the list for at the 5th receiving spot. At your 5th receiving spot, I'm going to put Willie Snead on the list, because Willie Snead, you get the freaking Sprinter Chem on there, you run the John Madden coach. These receivers are top 5. They're under 100k, and if you're just looking for budget, Willie Snead isn't too expensive. He's 42k. If you want to spend that coin, you can definitely get Willie Snead if you're looking for another receiver. But you put the Sprinter ×2 on there, you get the John Madden coach and everything else to get his catching and everything else up. You pretty much got yourself a solid card for the rest of the year if you're not trying to spend too much coin, just to have a backup receiver just to hit the field that nobody would expect. Because you don't need to necessarily have to get Tyreek Hill, because Tyreek Hill is still expensive. DeAndre Hopkins is an honorable mention for that. But other than that, like CD, if you're just looking for speed, and then that's just it. Because I know you guys are just looking for some good receivers, but also on the honorable mentions list, I have to put Julio on there because he's a very good short route runner, medium route runner. This guy is a good route runner to have on there. Not good for going deep on, but very solid for your slot corner or just have a 3rd tier receiver that nobody would be expecting you to run. He's very solid. Okay, well, let's move on to the running backs, the halfbacks, because I know you guys are going for that. But yeah, I'm going to let you guys on a little secret if you're trying to get like some good players. One free player at any position. I have to do this for you guys because I know you guys are wanting to know team standouts. Those things are expensive, right? Like, why would you recommend any of the team standouts? Because these guys usually don't have good stats. You have to get the power up and everything. You get one free one of those free team standouts. And the one I would highly recommend you get is Austin Eckler. But if that does not solidify that reason for that, is getting him, if you're trying to get someone that's speedy for free, you got Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt don't look too bad. He's also the same speed category. This guy is just extremely good. I would just like the fact that EA gave him a chance to get another card. He had a card last year. We all know how that happened. He beat up his wife, yada yada yada. He was off the Chiefs. Just good to see this guy back into the league again, back into Madden. But definitely, if you guys are trying to get one free card at any position, this is the card I'm recommending. Alvin Kamara. This guy is freaking a cheat code. This card is a cheat code, and he's just, ooh baby, get the power up. He won't disappoint you, and you got the John Madden coach. That's just a little secret there. You guys can get any of the team standouts for free just by playing the solos. But again, for the team builders, your team standouts, and your team diamonds, just complete this. You can complete the solo challenges. I hope you get that. But for your team builders, you can end up getting those guys for free. That's why I'm telling you guys those budget cards. Because if you're trying to get other cards, there's some other cards for you guys at that regard. Okay, let's go on to the halfbacks, because I know you guys want to know, like, what are the halfbacks? Like, what halfbacks do I recommend at the number 1 spot and everything else like that? Because I know a lot of you guys don't have the coin to run for under that 100K. But for under 100K, you guys can get any running back that I'm going to be mentioning on this list. So let's begin. Starting at number 1, I have to put this guy on the list because I know you guys want to know. Aaron Foster. You get his power up. You should be under that 100K threshold. You should be 100%. But if you don't want to get the power up, just run the physical card. This card won't disappoint you because he has a good speed, good everything, yada yada yada. He has a good juke move, good spin. This is the main reason I have him here, and he has a 90 change in direction. This guy is fast, and he can catch. He has hands. So just use this guy in the catching game, run game. He won't disappoint you, and he's very elusive. You put Jukebox on him. I think he gets a Jukebox. Ridiculous card. I like this card. Very good. Number 1 for sure. Slowly falling behind him, we have to put in the reality filter. Not everybody's going to have the coins for him. So if you want to get like a good solid card you don't need to spend any coin on, who would I recommend for this? Who would I recommend? Because I mean, there's so many good running backs in this game that we play of Madden that you would recommend for people. That's going to be James Conner. James Conner is another good card that I would highly recommend. Number 1, truck, break tackle says a lot about this card, but the juke move's 83, but he has a ridiculous spin move. It's very broken. He gets spin cycle. Very solid card for you guys that are running Steelers theme teams. But James Conner is still a good card because you can get that John Madden coach. You put that sprinter on here. I think you should get sprinter. I don't know about that. You got to see what he gets for his physical. But this card is very solid, number 1. And number 2, highly recommend you guys pick up this card. This card will definitely make your team that much better just by getting him. Okay, next, we're moving on. For that, at number 3, we have to put on those reality filters on again. You guys know I love the reality filters, you know, yada yada yada. At number 3, I'm gonna put Frank Gore. Frank Gore is a powerful runner. This is why I'm gonna put him on the list, because number 1, cheap, affordable, good speed, yada yada yada. Good runner, strong runner, very powerful runner, and he has a 91 carrying. That's the main reason for that. But this guy's just a pure power back. This guy's going to power his way through the line, and you get him in the open space, he won't disappoint you. He's very quick on his feet, very agile as well. So just keep this guy in mind if you're going for some good running backs. But next, we're going to go for the reality filter again, Bo Jackson. Cheat code in itself. I'm going to rank him number 3. But you can rank him at number 4 if you would like, because you don't want to run Bo Jackson, and it's a risk. He's 80K. These guys are very high-end cards, very budget. They're under 100K. You're looking for a solid running back. Bo Jackson, number 3. Frank Gore, number 4. And who would I put at number? Actually, it was Aaron Jones, number 1. Aaron Foster, number 1. James Conner, number 2. Bo Jackson, number 3. Frank Gore, Christian McCaffrey. You get the power up. Even if you don't want to run the power up, you don't have to. I'm not going to hold that to you guys. You guys should get the power up. Highly recommend getting the power up. This card won't disappoint you. And he is very affordable, very cheap. This card going for basically 63K. I would definitely highly recommend you guys scoop this card up, because this guy's a good, solid running back on my list. And he is number 4 on the list. Number 4. But he would be past Frank Gore because if you get that power up. If you're just running physical cards, I'm not going to hold it to y'all. Y'all don't have the training for it. But get his card. He's going to be over that freaking card right there. Next, let's go on to Todd Gurley, the elusive back in the league. You go over here to his juke move. He has an 87 juke move. This card is also a good card to have as well because this guy is a semi-power back. You get his power up. You're running with 89 with like 90 agility, 89 excel with an 88 speed. A very solid card, just like Christian McCaffrey. Those cards are ranked neck and neck for each other, but these guys are good for your budget if you're trying to run a budget team. And again, Christian McCaffrey is just slower than Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley's going to be rated higher over him, but any of these elusive backs are very good against Frank Gore. I mean, over the Frank Gore selection, because it's like you don't want to spend the coins there. You have these options here. And Aaron Foster, you don't need to get the power up to make him good. And James Conner is just a cheap option that you don't even need to put into a power up. Bo Jackson, you don't put him into a power up, but Todd Gurley, Christian McCaffrey, I would highly recommend picking up one of these two items. And plus, Christian McCaffrey just got a update. He's going for 60K right now. Highly recommend picking him up if you have like 100K coins. You can make a Christian McCaffrey. There you go. Get some cards to get the training for him. Highly recommend Christian McCaffrey or Todd Gurley. Highly recommend Todd Gurley because you can get his card through the Ultimate Kickoff. And the only one that I see that is very viable for that is Trent Richardson or Todd Gurley. Highly recommend getting Todd Gurley. I wouldn't recommend getting that offensive lineman if you're running a theme team, but if you need like a running back and you're running a theme team, pick up that guy. Makes more sense. Budget is key to Madden. Okay, moving on. I would just say you have everything in line. We're not going over offensive linemen because we all know the offensive linemen, there aren't some good budget ones. There are some, but they fluctuate a lot in Madden. But you want solid cards that really show no signs of fluctuating. We're going to go over to the quarterbacks. Because I know you guys are wondering, like, what are some good quarterbacks would you run that are contenders for under 100K? That are very good quarterbacks. We're going to start off with the GOAT, Patrick Mahomes. Get his power up. You can easily get this card with the power up pass. Or you can buy this card. This card is a good budget card. I'm ranking him number 1 because this card has good throw power. He's a good deep thrower. All in all, improviser quarterback is very key because, hey, you get this card speed up, he will get escape artist eventually. And this card, yeah, he's kind of slow, but his arm makes up for it. And he does have good throw on the run, so highly recommend getting this card as well. But you gotta get some more cards to make this card better. Highly recommend taking the chance and going in deep for this card. This card is very good. Very much for your budget, and he's going for 65K. Highly recommend picking that card up. Next, for your budget, so you're going to mark this card basically behind Patrick Mahomes. But if you want to rank him over because of his speed, there you go. But we got Marcus Mariota. This card is a straight up good quarterback. This guy's a scrambler quarterback. Not going to have not too much good throw accuracy, everything else like that. He's on the Raiders this year. But for you guys that are Tennessee fans, Marcus Mariota isn't on there, but if you're running that theme team, this card ain't too bad for y'all because he gets escape artist. This guy does get escape artist. Just keep that in mind. Put that escape artist on here. You're able to throw down the field with ease because this guy has some good throw power to go behind hit, cannon of an arm, and semi-good accuracy. But this card is relatively good budget for you guys. Top tier quarterback for sure that can run and throw. But Patrick Mahomes rated higher because he can throw deeper than Marcus Mariota and is more accurate and efficient in the pocket. So there's that one. Wouldn't recommend getting any other card, but Vic is expensive. I wouldn't do Vic. I really wouldn't. I mean, yeah, you want to take a risk. you can get the 89 Michael Vick. But you can just get the power up again from the challenges, quick, affordable, cheaper. You can get this card. You can make this card, and he'll have probably better throwing stats if you do so. And he's a lefty. Just letting you guys know that. Just letting you guys know what you're getting into if you get this 89, because it's just no good deal there. Patrick Mahomes, number 1. Marcus Mariota, number 2. Going for there. Now, to the 86 overall cards in this. Let's talk about the Lamar Jackson. Yeah, we all know. Everybody's like, who's a good backup quarterback? Number 3 top tier quarterback. I would say it's going to be Lamar because you get this card. You can use the power pass to get this card. But his card is now falling down in price, spiraling down. So I'm thinking about taking back the 89 overall power pass and putting the 89 on someone that would like to put it on. So just keep that in mind as we go forward. In the game. So, moving forward, we got, for you guys that are fans, definitely do this because you can get this card up. Number 4, Russell Wilson. He got an upgrade. I said it was about time that he got an upgrade. I like the fact that he got a new card. Makes sense. Good card. Highly recommend you guys picking up Russell Wilson because you can get his power up. Still be under that 100K and get enough training to power this guy up. Oh, baby. Get yourself a solid quarterback. And at number 4. I know you guys are wondering, who is at number 4? Who would you put at number 4? Rick Gannon. He was number 4. So at number 5. Rick Gannon. Now, Rick Gannon, again, super duper expensive. That's the main reason why I put him here. But he's a good card, don't get me wrong. This guy is a field general. This guy can throw. He has the accuracy to go behind that cannon of an arm, but he doesn't have that much throw power, though. Lamar Jackson, once you power him up, he has throw power to go with it. Again, Rick Gannon. If you want to take a shot with this guy, definitely highly recommend you get this card. But Rick Gannon, if you can throw deep and is accurate when he throws deep for you guys, highly recommend keeping him. But he's at number 4, at number 5, low on the number 5 radar because he is not a good quarterback. And just for that reason, I would highly recommend you guys definitely getting the other options above him. I would even go as far as to saying Mitchell Trubisky might be a good one, but Rick Gannon has more deep throw accuracy to go with that. So just get that Rick Gannon card because he makes your team that much better. Other than that, for your honorable mentions, Jared Goff. Just to go with it, he has good throw power, consistent, relatively cheap, not too expensive. If you're just looking for a good backup quarterback. Next, Mitchell Trubisky. If you're just looking for a backup quarterback, there you go. You got 2 options right there. But again, cheap affordability, and these are cards that can benefit you. Patrick Mahomes definitely makes that much of a difference on the list. Marcus Mariota, if you're not looking to spend training on a quarterback or get the power up, there you go. Had to give that option to you guys. And again, Rick Gannon, Russell Wilson, just for your power up players out there, because I know a lot of people want to know those top tier quarterbacks I recommend. Okay, we went over the tight ends, receivers, halfbacks, quarterbacks. Now let's go over to the positions that matter in the game. Free safety. You can't have anything. You can't have a good defense without a good secondary. And what are some budget players I would highly recommend? Damontae Kazee. Good card, very good. Don't even need to run a power up on him. He's 57K. Highly recommend picking him up. Behind him, you have Xavier McKinney. This guy has 87 speed with an 89 agility XL. This guy's very good for your theme team builders out there. But again, you want that backup player, bam, there you go. You got that backup player right then and there to make up for everything. Makes sense, doesn't it? Huh, it does. Because I'm just that good. So, those guys are cheap affordability. but they're not too good. So let's move on to the 88 to 89s. So we're moving on up in the list. So we're going to go straight up for the Hail Mary right here is Eric Weddle. Take 100K. You want to go for this jump out of the book? Highly recommend you guys get Eric Weddle because this card doesn't disappoint me. Hasn't disappointed me yet. He's a very solid free safety, and he is very good. I rank him #1 for his price, but he's top tier overall over all these free safeties. He's very good at playing the safety spot. #1, wouldn't play anybody over him or under this card. This card is relatively good at ease. You put the chemistry, you put him into that power up. Oh baby, you got your guys a good free safety at that position. Now moving on, let's go back to the 86s to 87s. Don't see anything there, so let's move on to the 84 to 85. So #1, Eric Weddle. #2, Kaze, Damontae Kazee, and Xavier McKinney. Now at number 4. Everybody's like looking at me funny because I'm going to say this card, and you guys are going to be looking at me like I'm stupid. Because power-ups are key in this game, and if you don't get a good card, you're pretty much screwed, my friends. I know, but we're going to put on a good guy for you guys because I know you guys want to know who would I put on this list. Xavier Rhodes. Speed, kills, not necessarily the zone will help you guys, but just for cheap affordability, you want to put him there. This makes sense. Xavier Rhodes, Xavier Woods makes sense. He's a good card. Not too good on the hit power though, but yeah, it's 87 hit power, so he does make up for something at that lackluster for that zone coverage. Because hey, your opponent moves up the field, they can't go far because you're gonna hit stick him. Makes sense to get that card. Okay, next, let's go over to the real card that makes sense. That's the real reason why I'm making this budget. For #5, that would be honestly a top tier contender for #2 spot, is Minkah Fitzpatrick. You get his power up, you power that card up. You're rocking with 90 Excel, very low on the hit power, but his zone coveraging relatively good. But if you run this card, you already got some abilities here, and he's going to be playing with relatively good ease. And let's just be frank, he plays good on the outside zone KO. So there you go, and a chance of catching tipped passes. So I would say that tip drill does come in handy for something with this card. And of course, you get that X Factor activated. Oh baby, you're gonna be in some trouble. All in all, high top tier card. Get the power up. Highly recommend it. Because if he gets another card, which I'm gonna sit here and say Minkah Fitzpatrick is gonna get another card. Get this card now before the card shoots up in price, because it's gonna happen. It's really gonna happen. So that's it for the free safeties. Now let's move over to the strong safety position. The real reason that everybody is going on here for this is because we got some good strong safeties this year that aren't too savvy, or everything else. But Jamal Adams is not going to be on the list because his power up is just too expensive. Just get the physical card. You're rocking with 88 hit power behind that man. But if you're able to snipe up that power up, let's just see what his power up is, because we go all the way down to that. I think it's going to be a 60 to 68. I think. So Jamal Adams, I mean, you can get him for the 100K. Bam, there you go. He's gonna be on the list because you can just power that guy up. You don't need to get him high. So let's go to the 86, 87 overall Welt. We got for you guys Adrian Wilson, another top tier strong safety. He has the hit power to back up the punches. You get the power up, bam, 100k, well spent. And you still got something to rock with. Next, Bob Sanders. Everybody's like, why do you get Bob? Why get Bob? Solid speed, solid excel, good hit power. You put that sprinter on there, he won't disappoint you with that 90 speed once fully powered up. But you fully power that card up, he will be rocking with more speed, so you won't be able to outrun him for anything, and he will hit you like a truck. Solid card. I'm gonna sit here and say it 100 times. Highly recommend getting that card. Won't disappoint y'all for the most part. So that's 3 of the best safeties in the game. So let's just, because I know you guys are wondering, where's Jamal Adams 90? We gotta get the 90, don't we? Here's the thing about that. He's very expensive because he's an LTD. If you have the 89 power up pass, definitely waste it on that card, because just gotta show you guys the stats on the reason why he's ranked number 1. The speed and the hit power does not lie. You get the power up, you power the card up, 90 speed with 89 excel. Makes sense. Put the sprinter on there. Bam, Jamal Adams hits like a truck. You're welcome, y'all. But a solid card all the way around. So let's move on to the 88s to 89s for you guys, because I know you guys are wondering who would I put on that list. Now we have team standouts. You have John Johnson. Not gonna complain about this card. This card is very good on the speed, but he's ranked at number 4 because you don't have the power up. I wouldn't rock this card too much, but he's very good on flats, good at the run support, and he has some good cackling to go with it, and some good stats to go with him. So he's not too bad, not too savvy. This card is really, really good for you budget people out there. But he's just a little bit too expensive. He's just further down the list of affordability. But there's that. I would honestly sit here and say Derwin James makes sense to get this card. Just this card alone would make sense. But if you have the budget, you can completely get this card in your arsenal. So I made a budget video on him earlier because Derwin was shown to get this 97. The reason that his cards are very highly sought after is because, hey, he's going to be the first 97 in the game that's confirmed. So just keep that in mind as we go forward. But if you can get Derwin, Derwin wouldn't disappoint you either. So let's go to the 86 to 87s. We already went over that list, I think. So there you go. We have Derwin. I think I'm just going to put Derwin on here too at number 4. But you get the power pass. There you go. And Malcolm Jenkins. Bam. Relatively budget for the most part. You didn't have to spend too much coin, hopefully, for you guys. But again, power passes really do fix a lot of the problems that you're going to be missing on this team. So we're not going to be covering the line. I mean, I'm not really going to be covering the linebackers. I'm just going to be covering the secondary, because 9 times out of 10 you guys are spending the coins at your linebacker spots, but you're trying to find those good corners to make up for the lack thereof. Some stats. So we're gonna go to the 86. We have Tre'Davious White. Gonna put that guy on the list. Top tier safe. I mean, not safety, but top tier corner. Highly recommend you guys going the extra length mile to get that card on your team. Really solid. Not gonna put it behind any of y'all. This card is 100% gonna make that team so much better. Next, we have Jimmy Moreland. For you guys that are budget people but don't want to put the training in, Jimmy Moreland. Why are we going to go over Jimmy Moreland's stats? Because he has 90-something speed. This guy has speed, man. Speed. Not good zoning. Rank him at number 5 because, I mean, he's top tier. That speed does make up for the zoning, as my friends have been telling me last year, because they throw it in that zone. You don't need to have good zone coverage. You just need to be right there with the speed to catch that ball. Bam. Hinting Tre'Davious White. But not number 5. I'm definitely going to put Jimmy Moreland. Number 6 will be Tre'Davious White. But you get the power up. you're not going to be disappointed at all. So let's move on to the 88 to 89s. This is where the real budget builder grinds begin. Stephon Gilmore. You get the power up, power that card up, bam, bam, bam. Good zone, decent and consistent speed. Definitely good budget tier corner to throw on your team. Okay, next, Frank Minfield. Again, another budget guy for you guys. Get the power up, power this card up. Bada bing, bada boom. This card got some good stats for you guys. He got a 65 hit power, but this card is very good in coverage. Very strong corner there. He's good for the slot. I'm honestly going to sit here and say, get yourself a good corner. Another good corner would be Dre Bly. Bang, bada boom. And for your veteran guys out there that don't want to spend too much coin. You want to spend too much coin, you just want a good corner. Get Sean Murphy-Bunting. He's on the list. I'm putting him on the list. This guy is 100% good for the speed. Everything else, like I said, speed kills in the game. Bam, bada, boom. He can keep up with everybody. And, of course, Dre Bly, Jonathan Joseph. Bam, bada, boom. Not a bad card, in my opinion. Very good. Very strong, very good. Okay. Now, for you guys, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty, because we're not going to go over the D linemen, because I know a lot of you guys are going to be putting all your coins there. But let's go over to the kickers category. Kickers, get Justin Tucker. I mean, it makes sense. Get Justin Tucker. Top tier guy, but get the 87 Morton Anderson. Bam, there you go. 88 to 89. Morton Anderson's just too expensive. Not going to go there. But 84 to 85s. Butker. Don't want to spend too much coin there. There you go. Josh Lambo. Makes sense. Good indoor kicker, like that guy. Really do. Good kicker. Other than that, Morton Anderson, Justin Tucker, Butker, Josh Lambo. Wouldn't go any lower for the overall on that. Punters. Don't think we have a good punter, but you can pick up any of these guys like Kern, Morstead, Tressway. The 86 route for you guys. Sam Koch, Johnny Hecker. And for you guys, completely there you go. Complete budget for you guys. Hope you guys enjoy. But I will be making another video, probably going over some of those other players I did skip over. But again, you want to spend the coins at your D-line linebackers, but you're trying to get some budget cards at those other positions. That will make you have an 89 overall team like I got. There you go. Makes sense to go after those. I hope you guys enjoy this video. And then I will be doing a live stream later on for Battlefront 2. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And feel free to watch the live stream if you guys have seen this video. Peace.